Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time, and I'm here for another Monday This and That vlog where I talk about all kinds of different things, answering questions that have come in the past week, giving updates on whatever's happening around here, and whatever else I feel like talking about. So let's get to the topics of today, starting off with the grains. If you've been following me for any length of time, the freezing of grains was something that originally I just didn't do when I would buy them until I finally got my first batch of weevils after years and years that totally infested a whole bucket of spelt grains. For some reason, spelt is the one I have the most issues with, it seems. So one thing I did start doing after that is when I'd get a new bag of grains in, I would then stick them in the freezer. So I wanted to give you a few tips about the freezing. The reason people freeze their grains is because it will kill any weevil eggs that are inside of the grains. Now, some people might not realize that a lot of the grains that you eat actually have weevil larvae inside the grain. That's where they lay their eggs, and you won't know it. And so once you get those grains in, those eggs can start hatching out. They eat their way out of the grain, and then they start munching on the rest of the grain, making more weevils. So freezing the grains is really the best option ahead of time if you have room for 25 or 50 pound bags in your freezer. Otherwise, you may have to freeze it in parts. But here's some important tips that you should know before you then package those up, whether it be in jars like this. This particular jar is my blend of barley and hard white wheat that I always keep next to my grain mill that I recently had filled up, but obviously I've used some since, and I just mix that up pre-blended. It's a 50-50 blend, and then keep it in my jar and then pour it in my mill as needed. But some people may prefer to store their grains in this. Now, if you're like me and you store a lot of grains, you may prefer to use buckets. For me, when I'm storing my grains, I just, for not long term, but for just regular term here, I still will do 25 and 50 pound bags. And I prefer to keep them in the paper bags they come in from Azure Standard and drop them down into the bucket and then just use them out of there. But then I'll have longer term ones, which are stored then in Mylar, sealed up, and then put in buckets. So the thing about that you'll need to know before you put them in any form that you do, whether you vacuum seal them into jars, into Mylar bags, into whatever, is that if you're freezing them first, you're going to need to allow them to dry out for a time, and that time is going to depend on how much you have there. So if I'm putting a 25 or 50 pound bag in my freezer, I'm going to leave it about a week, and then when I take it out, when it's a big bag like that, that's a lot of grain. So what I do is I open the bag up and I cover it with a kitchen towel, so no bugs and dust can get in there, and periodically we'll reach down in there and stir those grains up. And I try to keep it close to a heat source. So if it's wintertime, obviously I keep it close to the wood stove so that the heat will pull the moisture out and make sure there's no moisture getting trapped in there, especially if you're vacuum sealing, because otherwise your grains can spoil if you're not getting that moisture out. So I'll do that for several days to a week and just keep stirring that up and make sure that moisture is coming out before I put them up. So that was the main tip. Now, to do that faster, you can spread them out on a towel somewhere. If you got a large enough surface, that might only take a day to have them fully dry out. So that was my tip on that. Now, a couple more questions I got were one related to vanilla. Someone was saying that they said that they'd made vanilla extract before using vodka and it turned out great, but they didn't tell me how long they allowed that one to extract before they used it. Well, then when they started their second batch, they only let it extract for 3 weeks, and were wondering why there was no color to their vanilla extract. Well, it's likely because it was not allowed to extract for a long enough period of time. The minimum time for making vanilla extract is going to be 8 weeks. That's the bare minimum. So one thing about vanilla beans is the longer you let them extract, the stronger and darker it will become. So what I have here is my perpetual vanilla extract. I got this idea from Mary over at Mary's Nest. I also have my own video on this because, you know, I do things a little bit differently than she does. There's no one right way. We just do what works best for us. But anyway, yeah. And so, in fact, I keep a bottle in here, a 4-ounce bottle. And then whenever I need to top it off, which I need to top it off, I'm down to just this much in it. I'll just pour it out from here, and then I'll add more solvent to it and just keep doing that. And then every so often, maybe every few times that I'll do that, I'll add a couple of fresh vanilla beans in there just to make sure I'm still getting a strong vanilla extract. But it's the best, it's one of the ways you can make the most out of your vanilla beans because they're not cheap. But if you want more information on that, I'll go ahead and link to the video I did on that in the description box down below. Also, I'll link to at least one video about grains. I think my most recent one might be 2 years old, so I might have to do an update on that. But I'll link to that video down below as well. Then another question was about the honey infused garlic. Now, I will link to the video down below I did on my last one I did on honey infused garlic, options for it, because it doesn't just have to be garlic and honey. It can if you want, but you can add other things to it as well. Like this batch here clearly has horseradish in it, but I didn't add any black seed to this particular batch, which is one of my other favorite things to add. So I do list off a bunch of different options in there you might be curious about, and just check it out. It, again, does not have to be just honey and garlic. But here's the thing. I do talk about ways you can use it, and it's all going to be up to you. So the question somebody had is, clearly what they're doing is just eating the honey out, and they're running out of honey, and they're wondering if they can add more. Well, yes, you can. Some people do it the opposite way. They just eat the garlic and leave the honey, and ask, well, can I add more garlic? Well, yes, you can. My way of consuming it, especially since I add things like the horseradish, because, you know, this is mostly for fighting colds, flus, and whatnot, is I take a spoonful. I make sure I'm getting everything in there. So I might have 2 or 3 cloves of garlic, plus the horseradish, the black seeds, the red pepper flakes, or whatever it is I'm throwing in there. And then I just eat the whole spoonful. Now, some people, what they like to do is eat the garlic out of it, and then take that honey and make some kind of sauce for, like, say, putting over some kind of meat dish. There's all kinds of ways you can use it, and I cover a few of those in that video I'll be linking to. But yes, you can do that, or you can just do it like I do and just not have anything left. Just eat through the whole jar, and while you're finishing that out, like, this is not the jar I'm currently working through. When that jar's done, I will start another jar and have that infusing while I'm working through this jar. It's not something I take every day. I only take it when I feel I really need it. So that was a few of the questions. And if you watched my live show from my Rain Country 2 channel, I will have answered some of these same questions, but I also go over a few more questions that came in from my previous live show on this channel. Because I shoot these videos on the Wednesday before the Monday, and then the live shows on this channel are on Sundays, and then my schedule, I plan on trying to do a live show on my other channel every Wednesday about the same time, noon Pacific Standard Time. And actually, no, there was another question that I got that on that live feed that I wanted to address here, but I've also addressed in a live show on this channel and in a video that will be publishing on my secondary channel, where I talk about the nutrients in canned foods. Well, here's the exciting thing that I learned more as I started doing more research, is that canning actually can preserve far more nutrients than I ever thought, especially if you're taking the freshest fruits and vegetables and meat as possible and then canning it up immediately. Specifically when we're talking produce, the fresher it is, the better. When you can it right away, you can actually preserve more nutrients than allowing those fresh things to just sit in your refrigerator and start losing more and more nutrients over time as it just sits. The canning can actually preserve more. Will it destroy some of them? Yes, it'll destroy some, but not what people assume. A lot of people think it's going to destroy all the nutrients. Canning it is absolutely not true. What surprised me is that you only have 4 nutrients that are going to get destroyed, and they're all vitamins. So vitamin C and A are at the top, and then I know it's 2 B vitamins, which I believe is riboflavin and thiamine. But you only lose like maybe 30% in the canning process. So it's not like you're even losing all of them, but you're still going to be saving all the rest of your vitamins, all of your minerals, all of your carbohydrates and calories that are necessary, your fiber, and so on. So it's only those 4 nutrients that you're going to lose, which then of course over time those will degrade. Those 4 will degrade over time, and I'm sure the longer they sit, eventually there may be nothing left of those particular nutrients, but you're still going to have everything else. But that's going to happen no matter what preservation method you use. Even freeze drying does not preserve as many nutrients that people think, especially over time when vacuum sealed into jars. And whatever you may have saved, managed to save over canning with freeze drying or dehydrating, you're still going to lose those when you go to cook those items. So canning, it's actually a very viable method for putting up food, as is dehydrating and many other things. And I'm actually shooting a video today that will publish in a few weeks about 5 off-grid ways of preserving your food. So that'll be a fun one to do. So with those questions answered, I wanted to talk a little bit more about my secondary channel, just to make sure everybody knows it's there. So I have, if you want to know why I started that channel, when you go there, the first video I published there is the one I did on why I started that channel, why I give a longer explanation. But basically I started as a backup, but I will be trying to do at least 1 video a week there, 1 full-length video a week there for now, 1 short and 1 live show. As long as it doesn't take too much extra time for me to do that, I'm going to continue to do that to help build my audience, build that channel up, and get my watch hours, because I can't even monetize over there until I get 4,000 watch hours. I think I'll get there faster than I did with this channel here, just because I have a base to start with, and I am growing definitely faster. I'm gaining subscribers much faster there than I am here because of what they've been doing to me here. But at any rate, if nothing else, it'll be a backup. I'll try to keep unique videos going up over there for now. But then if something happens to this channel and it has to be taken, and it gets taken down or whatever, then I can start putting all of my videos over there. At least all my more recent videos, or videos that I have remastered from older videos. But just know that I have all my important videos already saved in an external hard drive. And plus there's my Rumble channel, so don't forget there's also Rumble. I've had that, I think it's been 3 years now that I've had my Rumble channel, and I started that also as a backup. So having a backup on YouTube and Rumble I thought would be a good way to make sure my content is still out there somewhere. And the thing about Rumble is, even though I have that backup channel here, there's still going to be videos I can't put on YouTube. I keep saying here, but people on Rumble are watching this video too. But there are videos I still can't put on YouTube, no matter what channel it is, that I can still put on Rumble. So that's a good reason why you may want to go ahead and subscribe to me on Rumble as well. Rumble and my secondary channel. That way, if this channel or the main YouTube channel goes down, you'll know where you can find me, plus the other social media outlets that are out there. And don't feel like you got to sign up for X or Facebook or Instagram if you have no interest in those. But if you're already have accounts there, then you can just follow me there as well, because I use those places to make important announcements and sometimes just to post some fun and interesting stuff. One thing I do want to add, though, that I found out is that I thought was really weird, because this didn't happen when I started my YouTube channel back in 2016, is I intentionally just waited until October to even choose to monetize. I think back then you could monetize whenever you wanted. But I didn't get any ads on my videos until I monetized. Well, what's weird, one of the things I noticed that has changed is on my new channel, they immediately started putting ads, but I'm not monetized, which means YouTube is getting all of the revenue from those ads and putting ads wherever they want, and I have absolutely no control over that, which is a bit frustrating. I mean, whatever, if they're earning revenue off of it, fine. It is a bit frustrating on that too, but I wouldn't be able to earn money anyway until I get my watch time built up to 4,000 hours. But what irritates me is them putting mid-roll ads when I try to stay away from having mid-roll ads on my regular videos. So just so you know, that's not me doing that, that's them. And once I'm able to monetize, then I'll have better control over the ads and where they appear in my videos, which I try to make them only at the very beginning and sometimes at the end. If they, I think they might automatically go at the end. So that's what's going on there. If you would like those links, you will always find my Rumble link, my secondary channel link now, all my social media links, everything will be found in the description box, along with those videos about the garlic, the grains, the vanilla, and whatever else. And then make sure you're watching my second channel to be able to see the video that will be coming out about the nutrients. Oh, and then on my secondary channel, I will have videos publishing. I'm going to be switching it up after, I think after this next week, where that one video a week will publish on a Sunday morning, and then the live show on Wednesday. So it'll kind of be a little bit switched up there. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my this and that for the week. Don't forget to like this video, to subscribe, to comment down below. If you're given the comment box, I know that's been hidden from people, not by my choice. I have no videos out there where comments have been disabled, so it's not me doing it again. But yeah, all of that helps, whether you're on Rumble, whether you're on YouTube, that does help my videos get out there in the algorithms, and hopefully we can kind of get things back to where they once were at one time. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.